Howdy everyone, Chase here with Silencer Shop, and this is the all-new Silencer Shop exclusive Print-XH from B&T. The Print-XH is going to be a 5.56 can, obviously comes in a couple of different sizes, either a subcompact or a full length. And you might be familiar with the Print-X series already. It's going to feature a lot of the same ideas as these new cans with that reduced backpressure system, but the H in Print-XH is going to stand for hybrid. And B&T got very clever with their 3D printing, and they were actually able to inlay 718 Inconel with the titanium main body of this suppressor. So generally with a 3D printed silencer, they're going to use the same material all the way throughout it. If you're using something like Inconel, you get great durability, but it makes the can very heavy. If you're using something like titanium, you can achieve a very light silencer, but there's certain concerns with sparking and rates of fire. The crazy engineers over at B&T found a way to mix those materials so you get Inconel in the blast chamber and in the blast baffle where you want all of that durability, but titanium in the rest of the silencer to keep that weight down. That does a few things for you. Firstly, it's going to give you insane durability. Each of these silencers went through 95 SOCOM-esque surge tests. If you're not familiar, that test is about 240 rounds at different firing cadences. So these each got shot over 22,000 times in testing. It didn't have any failures. That's pretty crazy just on the face of it. But then you look at the construction and it gets even more exciting. Because the Inconel is only in this front section where the blast chamber is and where the brunt of all the explosion and pressure comes from, and the rest is titanium, also makes a super well balanced silencer, so all the weight is closest to the gun. So on something like an AR where maneuverability can be important, you're not having all the weight out front, creating these weird swings. The gun actually feels even lighter than it might with a heavier silencer. And that's due to these silencers being so lightweight, but also the balance point. All the weight is kind of right back here. And while we're talking about it, this is only a 12.9 ounce silencer. Even in this full length, save about 2 ounces and 2 inches when you go to the smaller size. So it's just going to depend on what's more important to you in regards of the length. If you need a little bit more sound reduction and you can afford those extra 2 inches of suppression, the full size is awesome. If length is more important, grab that SC, that subcompact size, saves you about 2 inches. But shockingly, the weights are really similar. Like I said, only 2 ounces different between these two. So weight is kind of a non-factor on these cans. Length is going to play a much bigger role, and then that level of suppression that you need. Kind of the way I've been thinking about it. On something like a sealed system, 5.56 bolt gun, 5.56 precision rifle that doesn't have high rates of fire, I would probably go for the SC, make it a little bit shorter overall, especially on something like this that you might use for like hog hunting, deer hunting, on that 5.56 caliber. If you're shooting a repeating gun, semi-auto, maybe want that little bit more sound suppression, especially on a short barrel, grab the full size. It's not gonna weigh you down anymore, but you get that extra suppression. These are still using the RBS system, that's the Reduced Backpressure System. And B&T has made an incredible low back pressure system. These only influence bolt speed by less than 2%. Which means when you throw this on, your weapon isn't gonna have these big swings that require tuning to get rid of all that extra gas that's in the system. Most of the pressure is being vented out of the silencer through this ring right here, this distal sort of ring, and through the flash hiding end cap, which is also doing a great job of breaking up flash. But as it's keeping all that gas moving forward, you don't have to tinker with the gun at all. You're not gonna be messing with adjustable gas blocks and changing out buffer weights. You're gonna notice almost no change in weapon operation. So it's gonna run correctly, your gun's gonna run cleanly, you're not gonna have problems with ammo and feeding and things like that that you can run into when you get too much back pressure back into the gun. So the Print-XH is a pretty incredible silencer, a hybrid suppressor with 3D printing, which no one else has done yet. They also found a way to balance these things incredibly well, make a full-size silencer weigh less than 13 ounces, get rid of flash on a titanium suppressor. All this stuff is pretty incredible. But I haven't showed you the best part yet, and that is the mount that's gonna come with these. It's a flush fitting direct thread mount that features the Silencer Shop logo, which is why I like it so much. Of course, these products are exclusive to Silencer Shop. We added that little logo there, but more importantly, this mount only adds about 1/4 of an inch to the silencer and almost no weight. It's really how a direct thread mount should be. You don't need that extra standoff that adds unnecessary length to the can. Get it as close as possible, save as much length as possible, and you get the bonus of a really cool logo on the back. B&T is known for making some of the best weapon systems and suppressors in the world. They supply militaries and LEOs in America and abroad. These things get a lot of use. They've undergone a lot of testing, so you can rest assured that you're getting a quality product when you go with B&T, especially with this Print-XH. They went through a crazy amount of testing. Like I said, the test models went through over 22,000 rounds, basically consecutively, without any sort of cleaning and without any failures. That is pretty impressive. It's also backed by one of the best warranties in the industry. If you're having a hard time deciding between full size and subcompact, the subcompact is going to be slightly shorter than an iPhone Max. This one's about 2 inches longer. Kind of give you a point of reference there. Figure an iPhone on the end of your gun is about what a subcompact is going to add. 2 inches more beyond that for the full size. But like I said, the weight is actually really similar. B&T found a way to make a full-size suppressor weigh less than a lot of K-cans in other lineups. This thing is crazy light, and this one is only 2 ounces different. The B&T Print-XH SC RBS has an overall length of 5.23 inches, weighs 10.8 ounces. The Print-XH RBS has an overall length of 7.28 inches, weighs 12.9 ounces, and both models have a diameter of 1.73 inches. The Print-XH series is really built around those 5.56, 223 semi-auto and full auto guns. So if you're looking for a silencer for your AR-15 or a piston-driven gun, APC 223, any of these high rate of fire sorts of guns, especially with short barrels, I think the Print-XH RBS is a pretty tough silencer to beat. It's going to be insanely durable thanks to that Inconel insert. The main body stays really lightweight thanks to all the titanium. It sounds great, has super low back pressure, so it's going to keep your guns running correctly. You're not going to have to worry about tinkering and tuning. Keeps the gas out of your face too, which is especially nice as a left-handed shooter. I think if you're looking for a hard use silencer that doesn't weigh a ton and is a really good value, the Print-XH series is tough to beat, and they're exclusively available at Silencer Shop, and you get my favorite mount in the game right now. So if you have any questions about the Print-XH or any upcoming silencers, go ahead and drop a comment below. While you're down there, subscribe to the newsletter and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's where you're gonna get all the upcoming info on new silencers, sales, and deals.